In this video, we will introduce the Preference class within the Java programming language. The Preferences API is often used in graphical applications. It provides a lightweight and simple way of storing application and user preferences without directly accessing the file system or using JNDI. It was not meant to interface to traditional database engines, but rather uses appropriate OS-specific backends for the actual persistence. The API was meant for storing small amounts of data. The name itself indicates this. A common use for it is to store user-specific settings or preferences, such as font size or window layout. Of course, you can store anything you want in it. The Preferences API is designed to store strings, numbers, booleans, simple byte arrays, and the like. Let's take a look at an example so we can better understand how to use it. As per the usual programming needs, the API specifies to have two different nodes storages of preferences, one for user preferences and another for system preferences. And we can see here that they have their respective methods to access them. We also have methods to both put information into the preferences and also to retrieve information. In this case, we're storing an int to user preferences with a string key. Here we're retrieving an entry from the user preferences. The number sent as a second parameter will be returned if the key doesn't exist. So this would be the default value. We also have a method that removes. This method that removes can remove any preference, and it doesn't throw an exception even if it doesn't find the given preference in a node. A preference set by a program can be accessed by another program, which is running under a totally different Java runtime environment on the same machine. This leads to a problem, as different programs to store different values can use the same key. When each program calls and puts for the same key, the preference value is actually being overwritten. Java Preferences API has come up with different subsets of the preference roots. The preferences stored within a specific subroot will only be accessible within the subroot. Different subroots can now have their own preferences within the same key. The Java Preferences API supports package-level subroots, and any class within the package can access the same set of preferences. The package-specific preferences are created as a separate subroot, but the subroots are not aware of the name of the project containing the package. Hence, if two different projects have packages with the same name, the preferences created by one package will be accessible to the other package of different project. We need to take care of this in this scenario. So using the demo class here to create a user node for the package might not be the best thing. In order to improve this, we can also create our own subroots with custom logical root names. In the below example, I am creating a user preference with a logical root name. The same preferences can be accessed from any program and package on the same machine. Now the above preference can also be accessed by another program. Preferences such as user language, specifying the preference for the user and how the application should be displayed. This concludes our discussion of the Preferences class in Java.